Hello, Sagittarius loves. It's Kat here from Self-Unity. Welcome to your divine full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces reading. I'm so grateful and excited to be here with you today, love. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me. Now, before we get started with today's reading, I do want to share with you all that this is part one of a three-part series that I'm creating for each of the astrology signs for this eclipse season. So in part one today, we are going to cover the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces and receive messages of guidance that you need to receive to help you work through what it is that you are releasing during this eclipse season. And then in part two, we will talk about we will receive messages of guidance that will help you work through the energies that the new moon solar eclipse in Virgo will be activating for you, what intentions you will be setting. And then part three, we will be receiving messages of guidance around the integration period of everything that you learned, processed, and experienced during this eclipse season. So make sure that you subscribe to my channel, Self Unity, so that you can catch parts 2 and 3 for the full guide of this eclipse season readings. All right, love, so let's go ahead and jump right into your reading today. So we are going to start with the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. What does Sagittarius need to know in order to help them work through this energy of release and healing? So for today's reading, we are using this deck here. This is the Cozy Witch Tarot deck. So while I'm shuffling, loves, if you have a question, a situation that you've been working through, anything that you'd like to set an intention on receiving guidance for, go ahead and take a moment to just quietly set those intentions and ask those questions to yourself, to God, Goddess, your angels, your ancestors, your spirit team now, and trust that you will receive the answers in the divine's perfect timing. Right? Okay, we have 2 cards jumping out. All right, let's see what your last card is here, Sagittarius. So 2 jumping out, and then the last one wants to stay hidden. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's see what we have here. So we have Knight of Pentacles. Slowly but surely, you are going places. All right. And then we have the 8 of Wands. Light a fire underneath your cauldron and go, go, go. This 8 of Wands is very popular. I think this came out in Libra's reading, and it may have come out in Virgo's reading as well. Wow, you have 2 8s. We also have 8 of Swords. Stop overthinking it and just do it. And I love that we have a laptop here, because I thought she was holding a laptop here, but it looks more like a little box of medicine or something that she's holding on to there. So with that being said, I feel for you, Sagittarius, there is definitely something that you are wanting to create, something that you're wanting to work on. Specifically something that you may need a computer for in order to create, or some kind of like connection to technology in some way. Okay, so maybe like writing a book, creating a website, maybe like creating content, video editing, maybe even like programming, like software programming or something like that. I'm also seeing, I think, web design. I think I said web design, but that's coming up again. So that may be a message for someone specifically. Yes. Okay. And for some of you, it may not be connected to technology in this way either. It could be also where there's just something you're wanting to create, something you may be wanting to create like with a sense of like artisticness, so maybe like songs, paintings, things like that. But what's really coming through here for you, Sagittarius, is I'm seeing that you are delaying doing the hard work, like doing the work that you don't necessarily want to be doing. And so what I'm seeing, like an example that's coming through, is maybe you are an artist and you've already put in the work to create your art pieces and your artwork, but now you're having to like do the grueling work of like actually taking pictures of it, putting it online, maybe creating like a social media channel, or creating a gallery online for people to know about, or making the flyers, letting people know that you're having a gallery. So like creating the ads for it, doing like the more technical work, which you may not really enjoy doing. But Spirit's coming in and saying, go, go, go. It's time for you to put in the work, put in the time, put in the effort to do those more minuscule tasks that you may not necessarily want to do, but they're going to get you to the next stage, the next step in your journey, in your process. And this is something that you've definitely been thinking about for some time, because we have this card here saying stop overthinking it. Eight of Swords is all about thinking about it, not doing it, kind of keeping yourself stuck with where you're at, keeping yourself in your comfort zone, not wanting to take the steps, move into motion to get yourself out of those spaces. But you have the tools, you have the ability, you have the wisdom to get yourself out of that comfort space and into the spaces that you're dreaming of being in. It's just going to require you to put in that effort, put in that time, maybe reach out to those people that you need to reach out to, maybe hire those people that you need to hire in order to take some things off your plate, in order to help teach you how to do those other tasks that you may not necessarily be wanting to do, wanting to move forward with. Okay. All right, let's see if anything else is coming through here. Spirit keeps drawing my eye to this like medicine box, and they're really saying like you have the medicine that you need to get yourself through this next stage in your journey. Like you have the medicine to get yourself over this hump that you're facing. Only you have the medicine, you have the tools, you're the only one that can get yourself out of this Eight of Swords energy and more into this Eight of Wands energy of allowing yourself to move forward. So these are two very contrasting energies, where the Eight of Swords is all about staying stuck, being in the same place, but you're the only one keeping yourself there. And the Eight of Wands is all about moving forward, doing all the tasks that you need to do. There's like 8 different people in this card, but usually we have 8 different wands on the card, which represent all the different tasks, all the different places, spaces that you need to move yourself into, all the different motions and movements and opportunities that are available to you that you need to be acting on in this moment. Okay, so this full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces is really helping you to release the energy of sinking into overthinking and pushing yourself into a space of just taking action, just getting yourself there, just doing it, using the medicine that you already have, using the tools that you already have available to you now. Okay, so Spirit's also coming in and saying that this next step in your journey, you may also be kind of like blocking yourself from taking this next step in your journey because you're focusing on an end result or an end goal of what you're hoping to experience, or like the next step in your journey is not necessarily the effect of something, it's the cause of what you want to have affected. Okay, so like we're thinking in cause and effect. In order for you to get the effect that you want, you have to initiate the cause. And so you have to take the next step that will generate the effect of what you're like really focusing on wanting to have happen, but it's not going to happen until you initiate it by taking the next step, by working with what you already have. And I'm also seeing this contrasting energy here too, where you're not taking the next step because you're wanting to already be in the energy of that effect energy. You're already wanting to be, I'm almost seeing, so what I'm seeing in terms of that is like, maybe you are like a solopreneur right now. So maybe you're an entrepreneur. This is just an example. Take it as it resonates. So maybe you're an entrepreneur and you have to do some hard work, like we talked about with the computer, creating listings, or, maybe even like writing your book, things like that. And all these things that I've listed, so like, creating listings, writing a book, creating like content maybe for social media, creating your website, all of these things at some point in their journey will have the possibility of being able to be delegated out to other people. But right now, where you're at in this present moment, You may just be at the stage of being solo and having to do all this work for yourself, and you're losing sight of like being able to really push yourself into getting that work done, and you're just focusing on like the more dream aspect of wanting others to do it for you, or getting to a point where you can hire others to do it for you, but it's like you're not there just yet. And so you have to put yourself in that position of doing those hard tasks, doing those hard they're not necessarily hard tasks, but like putting in the hard work in order to get yourself to a place in the future where you will be able to delegate these tasks to other people that can take on those more grueling tasks that you're just not really into. Okay, so you're able to do it now, and you keep thinking about it because you know you're able to do it now. So just do it. Just initiate the cause so that you can receive the benefits of what will fall into effect from you pushing yourself through this. Okay, and take that as it resonates, because not everybody may be resonating with being like an entrepreneur or an artist. This could be applied to any aspect. You know, maybe like you're trying to apply for jobs and you just want somebody else to create your resume for you, but you're not in a position where you can like hire someone to create a resume for you. So just create it. You know, just do what you can. You know, and you don't have to do it all at once either. Spirit's coming in and saying slowly but surely here. Just take the first step. Just open up the document, open up the laptop, create the first few lines, close it, come back to it in an hour or two, come back to it the next day. Just do what you can with what you have in this moment, and you will be able to get yourself through this and flowing into the next stage, into the next spaces of where you're wanting to be at. Okay, let's go ahead and pull our oracle cards now from this deck here. This is the Seasons of the Witch Mabon Oracle. Your message are coming through like wildfire, Sagittarius. Like, wow, I did not know we were talking for 12 minutes now. Your message were coming through hot, which makes sense because you are a fire sign. So okay, so we have the Harvest Moon 20. No way. The Harvest Moon is the full moon, lunar eclipse in Pisces. The full moon that happens in September is the Harvest Moon. So, and you've got the Harvest Moon card. So number 20, slow your heart and move gently into the coming of self. Yes, there's no rush to this process. You may also be getting hung up because you think you need to have everything done tomorrow. But there is a journey to this, so enjoy the journey. The full moon, the harvest moon, doesn't happen in just a day. It takes 28 days for the moon to become full again, and it goes through that cycle again and again and again. We also have Apple of My Eye, number 2. So you have 2 twice. And this says, not all that's alluring may be what it seems. See beyond the illusion. Okay, I have never drawn this card in this deck yet, so this is the first time I'm seeing this, and I love it. But what's coming through with this here, Sagittarius, is you may also be learning that there are some parts to this journey that are not what you expected them to be, and that's okay. And so you may be coming up on a point where you're really questioning as to whether or not this is a journey that you even want to continue with. And that's okay to be there. It is okay to be there. And I'm also getting this message that everybody comes up on this point in their journey many, many times, no matter what it is that you're pursuing, no matter what it is that you're maybe kind of avoiding, teetering back and forth between wanting to create, not wanting to create, wanting to create, not wanting to create, no matter what it is, or even pursue, wanting to pursue, not wanting to pursue, no matter what it is, at some point in everybody's life, many, many times we come to a point where you stop and ask yourself, is it worth it? Is this something that I really want to continue giving my time, energy, and efforts to? And it's okay to be at that point. But I'm also seeing here that the place that you're at in this journey now, there's also these illusions that are being stripped away. Like I said, you may have been constantly kind of focusing on the dreaming aspect, the end goal, the results of what you want, the effects that you want to happen from the cause of what you're believing in, what you're constantly thinking about, but not necessarily creating or taking action on. And you're realizing that it's going to take a lot more than just the dreaming, just the beliefs, just the thinking about it. And so you're questioning if it's something that you actually want to be pursuing. But Spirit's coming in and saying, don't get hung up on that energy, okay? You don't want to be teetering in that energy of indecision for too long, because you have already put in a lot of energy, whether it's just emotional and mental energy. You've already given this pursuit a lot of your time and energy. It's just now asking for more from you, and something from you in a different way. It's asking you to do things in a different way than how you've been pursuing them, than how you've been doing them. And so I feel that on this harvest moon that's coming up on the 7th of September, Sunday, with it also being in the eclipse energy, you are going to come to a culmination point where you get to really decide and commit to this path, hardships and all, if this is something that you're going to commit to and move forward with, or if you're something that you're going to let go of, and the choice, the decision will really be up to you. But based on everything that I just shared about, I do feel that this is something that is really important to you. It is something that you want to have happen. But again, Spirit's saying the choice is up to you. And if you allow yourself to continue staying in this Eight of Swords energy, being sitting in that comfort zone, not wanting to take new steps, new actions, new movements, then you're just going to find yourself here again and again and again. And so that's why we have the Eight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles, letting you know that it's okay to move forward with this in a new way, in a new light, but know that it is a journey and it's okay to give yourself time. Even if it's just 5 minutes a day of doing something different, of taking these action steps that you need to take in the physical world to get yourself out of this mental and emotional turmoil that you keep battling with, okay? For some of you, like, I am definitely getting that you are on the path of trying to be an entrepreneur in some way, or creating something that you have to share with others. And Sagittarius, been on this path for quite some time. It is not always easy. There are some heavy hardships with it, and everything that we talked about in this reading. It can be very challenging, but the reward is very worth it, okay? What you're seeking for from this experience, it is worth it if you allow yourself and give yourself permission to put in the time, the energy, and effort to get yourself into the spaces that you want to be in and that you're dreaming of. But you can't be stuck in that energy of just dreaming about it. You really have to get yourself into those spaces of also shifting into action, taking those action steps, seeing beyond the delulu, as we call it. And you'll get yourself there, and it'll be so much more rewarding than staying in those comfort zones and just dreaming about it. All right, my loves, so let's go ahead and pull your last oracle card now. Oh, before I pull this, Spirit wants me to talk about the numerology here. So you have twos, and you also have the eights, okay? And Knight of Pentacles, this is also a 12, okay? So you have 2 3 times. So you may be seeing the number 2, which is also about growth. It's also about commitment, dedication. And then we have 8 of Swords, which is the representation of karma. What goes around comes around, which brings us back to the energy of cause and effect. What you put in will come back to you. It will create the effect of what you want. The cause that you initiate will create the effect that you're dreaming about, that you're thinking about. So create the cause, initiate the effect by taking I don't know what I'm saying there. Initiate the effect by activating the cause. There we go. We got it. Spirit had to pull it out of me. All right, so this last deck is Beyond Lemuria Oracle cards, and this deck has a little bit of a different vibe than these decks here, but this deck really wanted to be a part of the eclipse activations. So let's see, we have 48 surrender. Surrender, yes. Sagittarius, get out of your head. Get out of your head and into your body. Just surrender. Go where the flow is taking you. Go where you're feeling guided to go towards. Let yourself go to those spaces. Let yourself create what you're wanting to create, and stop attaching judgments to those creations. Surrender to what it is that you're feeling as well. For some of you, you may decide to let this go, and it's okay if you decide to let this go. Only you will get to decide. I feel this is something really near and dear to your heart. It's something you're really passionate about. It's something you're really excited about. But you may come to a point where you decide that it's really not worth it. It's not worth your mental health. It's not worth leaving behind the things that feel secure and safe to you. And it's okay to be there too. It's okay to be with where you're at and recognize how you're feeling about the changes that you're working through right now. It's okay to choose differently. And it doesn't mean that you're wrong, but Spirit is coming in and saying it's okay to admit that you're wrong, in the sense that what you wanted didn't play out in the ways that you thought it would. And I'm also seeing like they're just saying it's okay that it didn't work out how you wanted it to be, but it doesn't mean that you were necessarily wrong. But I feel that somebody needs to hear that, like, it's okay to admit the sense of defeat in choosing differently now than what you had hoped would come of you pursuing this experience. Okay. And then for some of you may be on the other end of the spectrum, where we were talking about just needing to move forward and take those action steps that you need to take in order to get yourself out of this space and into the next stage of the process of the journey that you're on. But for some of you, that next step may be deciding to let it go. Okay. Which is what this harvest moon is all about. This is what full moons represent, is the release. Okay. And seeing beyond the illusion here, understanding that what you thought this path would bring you, what you thought it would gift you, may not be what it's actually gifting to you. And it's okay to admit that. And it's okay to choose differently and to align yourself with a new path that will gift you with what you're actually wanting to experience. Okay. So Sagittarius, just recognize that this is a journey. It's not a destination. It's not. Even if you have end goals in sight for what it is that you're pursuing, what it is that you're overthinking about, what it is that you're being called towards, it's still a journey. And when you get to the end of that goal and you receive that goal, you're still going to be on this journey that we call life. And there will still be new things for you to work through. And so if you decide to let this go, that's okay. There will still be other things that you can work through to help bring you a sense of safety, peace, and love, and to return you back to yourself and into this energy of really trusting in the process of your own divine path. So surrender to your truth and let it be known by you. Just let yourself know what your truth is. And if it requires action, give yourself permission to take those action steps and to go where you're being called to go. All right, love. So that is it for your full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces reading. I thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with me today while I read your cards, my love. So if you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to my channel, Self Unity, so that you can catch part 2 and 3 of your eclipse season readings. I'm so grateful for you tuning in once again. Thank you, Sagittarius loves. Until next time, bye.